Hi everyone, my name's Pieper, and I want to talk to you today about how you can sound more like a jazz player when you're soloing over a blues progression. Now, there's a lot of ways to approach soloing on the blues, and they're all good. But there's something that all good jazz players know about soloing on the blues, and that's this little trick that I'm going to show you today. We're going to be working with blues in B flat, one of the most common keys in jazz. The first chord in a B flat blues is B flat 7. That's the one chord in B flat. And this is one way to play it on a guitar. The third of this chord is a D note, and that sounds like this. So that D is going to sound great over B flat 7. Now our next chord is E flat 7, which is the 4 chord in a B flat blues. This chord definitely does not have a D in it, unlike the last one, but it does have D flat. So our D comes down to D flat when we move to the E flat 7. And this is the trick that I'm going to share with you. When we're playing over the B flat 7, the 1 chord, we're going to play the D note. And when we play over the E flat 7, the 4 chord, we're going to play a D flat. You can almost think of this as a coin with two sides. Wherever we are in this chord progression, we always want to know what side of the coin that we're on. Now, I do want to say, this is not a rule. I don't really think there are rules for playing over a blues progression, but this is something that I've heard jazz musicians doing ever since I started playing and listening to jazz. If you learn how to use this little device in your solos, I think it'll help you play the changes better and sound a little more like a jazz musician. When we get to the end of the 12-bar blues, the last 4 bars, I'm going to go up to an E flat from my D, because I think that works well. And this isn't really part of the trick, but I think it's a cool sound, and it kind of gives us somewhere to go in those last 4 bars. So I'm playing C minor 7 chord here, and you're going to hear that E flat as part of the little things that we're going to play. Today, I'm going to show you 8 different examples. Each one of these is going to be 12 bars long, just one time through a blues progression. There's a PDF available for you to download that has all of these examples written out in standard notation and tab, and I'll put a link in the video description down below, so be sure to check that out. So let's get to it. Here's example number 1, and we're going to start out very simple. Here's example number 2. You notice that in these examples, of course, I'm not only playing the notes that we're talking about, but I try to emphasize those when we're in the certain parts of the chord progression. Over the B flat 7, I'm going to be playing that D, or trying to play ideas that bring that out. On the E flat 7, I'm trying to emphasize that. So on that last one you heard me play, that's the D, that's the D flat. So try to listen for that as you hear these different ideas, and you'll hear me trying to bring those notes out and really emphasize those, and always be on the right side of that coin, right? So that's what we're doing. Here's example number 3. Here's example number 4. Here's example number 5. This one is a little bit more involved, but I think you can still hear that trick that I'm talking about, the D and the D flat, landing on those notes, emphasizing those notes in the right part of the chord progression. So check it out. Here's example number 6. Here's example number 7. And here's our last example, example number 8. So that's it. I think that if you work with these ideas, you'll find that you start sounding more like a jazz player right away. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I hope that you'll leave a comment below and share any thoughts that you might have. And of course, be sure to subscribe to my channel, because there's lots more to come. Thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.